redhead, he'll be in every competition he can be in. He's quite a competitor. Power is trying to save it. Hit it too far. Here's Karai just getting it back on the third hit. Excellent power, far side, Castellano. It's still 8-4. Again, you can only score on the service, and Castellano will try to do that now as he'll serve a jump serve, just barely over the net. Dvorak jumping up for the set, but apparently the Americans over the net. And a point goes to Argentina to make it 8-5. Interesting serving style here.
Yeah, that's very popular in Italy, where a lot of these Argentinians have been playing. That jump spin serve, something we don't do in this country at all, but the folks who have been playing in Italy have brought that home with them, and the Argentinians are doing it now, as you can see.
Kumanetti with that block for Argentina gets another point to tighten it up to make it 8-6 now. Good shot. Set up by Dvorak by Craig Buck. Service over to the U.S. and Karai will be serving. Craig Buck, as you see, a good look at the 6'8", four-year veteran out of Pepperdine. Block at the top by Person. He anticipated beautifully as Argentina well out of position up that far sideline and dumped it back in with a good smash of his own. 9-6 U.S.
Excuse me. Burgess is very quick. He does things that most people just think about doing. Great reflex, great speed, and of course, as you said earlier, Sam, his backcourt digging is fantastic.
I'm about 3 serves behind, as a matter of fact, Al. Here's Karai. Serves it too deep. And the serve goes back to Argentina. Americans lead it 9-6. Cantor with the serve. Beautiful setup by Dvorak again. That was what we said at the top of the show. When they can get it to the center, they call him one of the best in the world, Dvorak, and Bersen with a smash that time.
Dvorak does an awfully good job of selecting the right person to whom to put the set. He has our hitters in great position when he's putting the ball up there, and they love to play with him.
Blocked by Buck. Fairly Argentina into the net of the Americans there. They say that the U.S. was in the net on the block, and it goes back to Argentina. Score holds 9-6. First team to 15. You must win by 2. Serve is out. Service back to the U.S., and Craig Buck will do the honors. Interesting, as you look at the offense, you do not realize, but there are almost 100 set calls off the offense for the USA. Almost incredible. Beautiful block by Timmons and Powers again, and Steve Timmons got most of that one.
I haven't seen Timmons play since last fall. I'm terribly impressed. This is amazing.
Watch for number 9, Raul Quiroga, in for the Argentinians. They say he's a tremendous spiker at the net. We'll watch and see. That one is out, goes to the U.S. Score now moves to 11-6, and Argentina wants a timeout. So the Americans will open up a somewhat tight match now. They have a 5-point lead, 11-6. We'll return with more of our U.S. Cup action from San Diego, with the Americans leading Argentina 11-6. Take a good look at the USA team. You know, Al, Monaco, one of the things we talked about at the top of the show was the big wins by the Americans as of recent. Of course, Russia, Japan, and China. Certainly the win over Russia. Doug Beal just happened to be bubbling about that before the match here tonight, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, a great, exciting win. But the Russians not coming to Los Angeles. We beat them 3 times, 4 times in the Soviet Union. We beat them before the boycott was announced. We just trounced them afterwards. We're the best in the world right now. They don't want to come to our party. That's too bad. We got the last win.
Beautiful setup that time again by Cantor, who is their most popular player at number 8. Set it beautifully for Martinez. Martinez puts it down. The service goes back, but it's 12-6 to USA. Beautiful block by Argentina. Bersen keeps it in play. There's Powers. He'll keep that one in as Argentina makes a nice diving save over here. Uriarte. Dvorak. Bersen. Save far side by Argentina. Ball will be out on the near side. Last touch by the U.S. Point for Argentina. So Argentina serving. It's now 12-7 as they are a little reluctant to put a point on the board, but it is nonetheless there. Bersen with the dig. Power spike that time by Timmons. Just got too much of a lift on it, and it goes out the end line. 12-8. 4-point lead by the U.S. Again, they play to 15. There will be no question on that one as Dvorak set it up beautifully for Timmons.
Great confidence by Dvorak. Timmons had an error the one before that. He comes right back to him, bang, to the floor.
Person who stands probably about 12 to 15 feet behind that area that you can serve on. Powers with just that indeed. Berzin with the first bump pass, then the very quick set that time by Dvorak, and Powers with the smash, and it's 13-8.
You notice, Dan, we're constantly spiking against only one blocker. That's Dvorak. Dvorak leading where the defense is, giving our spikers a great opportunity, only one blocker.
Powers again as it's 14-8. And this is game point coming up for the Americans as Berzin will be seeing what he can do. By the way, for those of you watching the net, you'll from time to time see at each of the corners there is what is called an antenna. The players call it a pin, and all of the action has to be initiated inside of the antennas on each end of the net. If you see that, there's a good look at it, just barely right at the top of the net. And again, the play has to be initiated inside that. Verdes checks in number 12 for Argentina. For Uriarte as he goes out. Ball out of bounds, and that's the point for the Americans, and they win the first game 15-8 over Argentina. So the Americans showing the power that many had seen them use all over the world, had shown it against Argentina here in the first of the games as they win it by the score of 15-8. Our USA Cup competition will continue from San Diego, California. Again, the Americans win the first game 15-8. Enjoying this early taste of some Olympic action, a reminder that ESPN Daily at 6:30, 3:30 in the Pacific Coast starting Saturday, July 28th, will give you an update of the Olympic Games from Los Angeles. Follow the quest for the gold with our Sports Center Olympic edition right here on ESPN starting Saturday, July 28th. Sam Smith along with Al Monaco. You see the U.S. won the first game 15-8. We're ready to go. Again, it is the best of 5. And you must win 3. The Americans have already taken a 1-0 advantage and will be serving here in the second game. And serving is Dvorak. Good smash coming here by Martinez. Esteban timed his jump beautifully and puts it down as the serve goes back to Argentina for the first time in game 2. Rye with a dig. Timmons just trying to dink it in. Argentina's got to get it back on the third hit and does. Powers getting a block off his chest and out. And Argentina gets the first point of game 2. Goes off a buck on the block. Service is out. So Cantor serves out for Argentina. Service goes to the U.S. They trail 1-0. And Craig Buck will be serving. His coach, Doug Beal, Al Monaco, indicates that Buck potentially could be one of the best in the world at some of the things he does.
Buck's great. He really makes the middle work for us on defense. Great block, great attack, great threat. I think he makes Berzins look good. Berzins is a heck of a ball player.
Timmons getting that one down as it tipped off of Argentina out, and the Americans will get the point.
I haven't seen Timmons play now since last fall. I'm seeing some things I never thought Timmons could do. Timmons has really improved.
Short service that time by Craig Buck. He spotted a little opening right in front of Castellana, and he could not get to it. He didn't dig it out. So it's 2-1 USA.
Great attack now. That's that fast stuff. They had 3 guys coming at the setter, switching directions, and it's pretty tough for the American block to read it.
Wagensville was the young man who put it down. First name is Carlos. He stands 6'3". By the way, their tallest man is 6'5". The Americans with Buck at 6'8" have a little advantage at the net, and you can see why. As Powers does just that at 6'5", puts one down and sends the service back to the U.S.
USA finally has a men's team that's world caliber in height. We have a nice tall team, but we're only average.
Berzin serving for the U.S. 2-1 of U.S. Block at the top by Powers. Argentina dinks it back over. Berzin gets it tipped by Argentina, says the referee on the far side. Oh, was it Wink Davenport, I believe, made it, and so the U.S. will get the point. It's 3-1.
These are 2 good referees. They're both going to be doing the Olympic Games. So.
What does that bring the crowd into play is Pat Powers puts that one down. I think you could say Al Monaco with authority, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was a rare one. No blocker over there. Powers is great.
I think the Argentinians are saying, God, there was nobody there. Wow. Good block by the U.S. is, first of all, Karai, I think, was the man that was there. Timmons always around the volleyball helps, and it's 5-1 USA. Argentina into the net as they set it up, and Argentina wants the timeout. So the Americans are now open up a 5-point lead. It's 6-1 in game number 2 after winning the opening game 15-8. We're in action in the USA Cups from San Diego. Our score, USA 6, Argentina 1. With Al Monaco, Al, the executive director of the U.S. Volleyball Association, and Al, you have got to be smiling as you take a look at the scores so far with the U.S. team, and Coach Doug Beal, who's done an excellent job with this club so far.
Doug Beal is going to go down in history as one of the innovative coaches of all time. He's done some amazing things, not just by winning, but by how he's doing it.
Beautiful setup work that time as Wagenfeld puts it away, but the point, no point actually. The service will go over to Argentina as the USA did indeed touch it on the way out. So the service goes over to Argentina. Cuminetti serving for Argentina. Powers puts one away, but it's out just over the top of her head. And Argentina gets a point, makes it 6-2. Powers with a smash off a Dvorak set. Good save by Argentina. They put it down on the far side, and Castellano will do the honors. The setup again by Cantor. Number 8, he is kind of like their quarterback, the man that does a lot of their play calling at time to time. By the way, the hitters will call where they are, and it is up to that setter to put it where they want it, and in that case, it was Dvorak putting it in for Powers and did a good number on it.
Here comes the substitute for the USA, Captain Mark Waldy.
Waldy, at 28 years of age, 6'4" from Ohio State. The PE major there comes in, and Powers will go out. And Waldy, the captain of the club, as Al pointed out, an excellent player in his own right. You start to see the depth now coming forth for the Americans as some moisture being mopped up on the opposite end, just holding up play for a moment ago. By the way, Tom Slaymaker, along with Wink Davenport, are the two referees that Al alluded to a moment ago that indeed will work the Olympic Games. And they're with us tonight.
Davenport was a player in the '68 Olympics. Last time we beat the Soviets before this recent trip to the Soviet Union. Wink played on that Olympic team that opened the Mexico Olympics with a victory over the Soviet Union.
So the service goes back to Argentina with a score of 6-3. Karai with a setup. Puts it away, and the serve goes back, and Timmons will be serving for the USA, leading by 3. This is game 2 after the U.S. won 15-8. There's Cantor setting on the far side. Castellani with a big smash. Finally saved by Karai, and Buck puts it away for the Americans with a spike. 7-3, U.S. Again, we pointed out at the top of the show that almost as complicated as the Dallas Cowboy offense is this by the Americans. Good block that time by Buck. Another good block by the Americans, as there's almost as many as 100 calls off the plays that they try to set up offensively.
We saw an interesting play. It's a Latin play. The fella bumped the ball with his head. If you don't play soccer football, you'd never have that instinct. The Argentinian played the ball off his head. Real clever.
Kind of caught the Americans certainly off guard a bit, and finally resulted in a point. Americans will get the serve right back on a fine smash that time by Timmons. Mark Waldy setting it up beautifully, and going back, Karai will be serving for the USA. There's the backline hit. Coming up strong to do that is Martinez, saved by the Americans. Karai right into the waiting blocking hands of Uriarte, and he puts it down for the change of service here for Argentina. Score holds 7-3. Good look at that jump service that time by Castellani. But with a setup by Dvorak. And now all of that is very meaningless unless you can get the ball to your setter. And certainly that's got to be a strong point of the Americans. They do that very thing in getting it to Dvorak.
It's one of the great improvements over the last 4 years. We have some guys who can pass the ball off the hard spikes. Used to be an American weakness. Now it's an American strength.
Good power move that time again by Cominetti. Blocked by Buck, but out the back line. So So Argentina has a chance to pick up a point as the serve goes back their way again. It's still 7-3. Waldy with the save right in front of the net. Karai puts it too deep for Castellano to handle. It's out, and the service goes back to the U.S. Karai is a young man who, from UCLA, 6'3", 23 years of age, is called the best all-around player on this club. And I think you'll plainly see why before this night is all over. Buck with the spike. Argentina getting it off their body, out. And now the referee across the way, Tom Slaymaker, saying, ask him if he didn't touch it.
Everybody's denying they touched it, except the young man who did touch it. He's got his hands up, but his teammates won't acknowledge his honesty.
With all of this, the Americans have scored 2 points to make it 9-3, including the ball that just went out and the last one there. Good short service, but Argentina anticipated beautifully. Smash by Timmons, blocked out by Uriarte, and points for the Americans to make it 10-3. So the USA men's Olympic volleyball team doing an excellent job, and a short service again by Craig Buck as he dumps it over, and now Argentina wants another timeout. So with the Americans pounding Argentina now in game 2. Again, this is the best of 5. You must win 3. The Americans have won already the first, and now lead by the score of 11-3 in the second game. We're with Trip 5 USA Cup action. Sam Smith along with Al Monaco. We'll talk about how the U.S. has been so dominant in this match in just a moment when we get a chance. As Argentina's smash on the far side by Cominetti, saved by the Americans. But the USA will put it away as Timmons does it again. And Al, you pointed out that quite obviously the Americans just absolutely are overpowering Argentina.
With Timmons in the lineup now, all of a sudden we have superior size and strength to the opponents, particularly Argentina. Argentina's a good team. We're just a lot better right now.
One of the stronger Argentinians, number 9, Quiroga, comes in. Dragonfell will check out for a moment as the service goes out for the U.S. It's 12-3. And now it'll be service to Argentina. Chris Milo will check in. 32 years of age, was on an NCAA championship team in 73. Been around this game for quite a while. Checks in, and going out will be Craig Buck. Oh, Timmons. Set up by Waldy and Dvorak, and he puts it away with authority to make it still 12-3, but the service to the U.S.
I think Chris Marlowe's done a few color spots for SPAN on some NCAA and other volleyball matches.
Well, he's certainly a guy that enjoys this. He's called the pep man. He kind of goes out, kind of gets everybody fired up. As Burson goes out, and checking in now for the USA, it's going to be Dave Saunders, I believe, number 2. And Saunders back to score here. Saunders on NCAA championship teams at UCLA in 81 and 82. Relegated to the bench right now with the play. You can see the depth of this club. 12-3 USA, second game. There was Quiroga. Again, I pointed out a little stronger player, and he showed that he certainly has that strength. That's almost now what is called an outside hit. They kind of serve it away from the court. You kind of lean that way, and then he serves it back cross court on you. Tough to handle.
Yeah, it's a good play. You show one direction, then you go the other, and quite often you catch the defense going with what you show rather than with what you did.
Argentina, an uphill battle here in game 2, makes it 12-4. There's that little delay. Timmons with a fake, following right in behind him is Mark Waldy. And Waldy puts it down to bring the service back to the U.S.
A few years ago, Waldy was their best player. Isn't that Waldy's gotten worse? As everybody else has gotten better, Mark is still a very, very good ball player.
And apparently a very good leader, as he is indeed the captain. Oh, putting it down is Martinez, set up by Cantor. Argentina with a serve back, still down 12-4. Keep in mind, these two will again play the latter part of July, opening games of the of the Olympic Games in L.A.
There was a strange call. Referee said 4 touches. One of the faking players must have touched the ball.
So a point for Argentina to make it 12-5. And the service here by Quiroga. Now the Americans will make another substitution as Craig Buck will come in and Marlowe will check back out. Back up on that front line. Marlowe checking out for the U.S.
You got it. Nice play, Sam.
I I was not sure if Cantor was not going to try to play that off the press table. I was a little leery of trying to go for it.
Oh, yeah, play it right off your chin. You got to be careful.
I could think of soft drink all over us here, Al, but we save it out. The point goes back. It's 13-6 is the score now. Point for the USA. As Timmons will be serving, it's 14-5, and this is game point again. The Americans winning the first game. Spike is away with a touch by the Americans. It was not, as Dvorak will not touch it. The point is good off of Argentina, and the Americans win the second game, this time by the score of 15-5. So 15-8, 15-5. The U.S. takes the commanding 2-0 lead in the best of 5 over Argentina. USA Cup competition, San Diego Sports Arena will continue. Right now, let's pause for this timeout. Now Monaco, once again at the Sports Arena in San Diego. No changes with the exception of one now, as Steve Salmon will come in. And he is number 3 in the lineup for the USA as they stay in with Timmons. Across the way, Buck. Also, Karai stays in along with Dvorak. And the front line also staying in after he came in a moment ago was Saunders. So the U.S. getting ready for the start of Game 3 after winning the first 2 games. 15-8 and now 15-5 in Game 2. Right off the bat, Steve Salmon make a spike of his own, and that's kind of the way to get yourself initiated into the game, Al, is to come in and get a good set by Dvorak and put one down in a hurry.
Yeah, Timmons was a starter a year ago, even in the fall. Then he hurt his back, hurt his foot, took some time off. Timmons came on. Timmons is riding the planks, but he'll be in the lineup for us.
Quiroga with the spike and the change of service again. Far side a block at the top, and again it was Saunders. Dave Saunders from UCLA making the spike. Tried to block there by Argentina, but the service goes back. Salmons with the service. Argentina into the net.
No, it's the U.S. player penetrated the top of the net before Argentina had a chance to attack. Violation of the net by the U.S.
So indeed it was the other way, and the service goes back. No point yet. Now there is no point as the service will go back the other way again on Buck's spike. Again, you slowly start to see the United States with a few more substitutions being made here on their 12-man roster.
A couple of guys we haven't seen yet tonight who also could play at this level. Paul Sunderland, the veteran, is one of them. He'll probably get in a while.
Block at the top that time by Argentina's Martinez. It does go out. And service goes to Craig Buck. Buck, who's been serving short, has done it quite effectively again and almost dropped it in front of Argentina's backline.